All right, Gymnasticsville, I'm here with Mike Squires. This guy can swing some rings. What are you, 3, 4-time national champion, 5, 6, 7, 8? How many times did you win nationals on rings?
Won it 3 times, but if you asked me to do it nowadays, I'd be terrible. I would suck.
Dang, so what's the key to being strong on rings, man?
Consistency, working hard, developing a smart plan. Smart plan is probably the key. That's probably most overlooked.
Okay.
Most guys, you know, it's obvious. It's like, hey, I need to work out, I need to lift weights, try and buff up, but training smart is something that goes overlooked. It's developing that plan, making sure that you're not overtraining, trying to make sure that you're peaking at the right time.
Okay.
Because the way that I would train is certainly like midway through the season, that's when I was doing the most routines a week.
Okay.
And then I would reach a peak, and then about halfway through the season, I'd start dialing it down. And then by the time NCAAs rolled around, I was doing the least number of sets for the whole year, and that's when my body felt the best, and I was able to perform the best.
Wow, that's great. So I just want to know, like, because, you know, usually ring guys, they're beat up and stuff. Did you have any surgeries or anything throughout that whole process, or?
I had a torn bicep, and I found out that I competed my entire senior year on a torn bicep.
Dang!
So right after NCAA's senior year in 2015.
And you won rings that year?
I won rings with a torn bicep. Yeah. So
you see this, Gymnasticsville? He's just too modest, man. Yeah, okay,
I got surgery right after that, and since then haven't been able to get back up and do a fraction of what I was capable of then. But that's all right. That's how it goes.
Sport is. Yeah. All right, so your Sooners, man, 85 wins in a row. What's next?
86. 86 wins is next. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's talk a little about the significance, or, you know, of this win streak.
Well, I mean, it's a big deal, and I mean, winning 3 times in a row, unheard of, not done since like the Nebraska team of the 1980s, and that team was legendary. You had Jim Hartung and all those guys on the team. To be even considered in that realm is a big honor.
Yep.
But for this team, I know they're not focusing on it. They're just trying to win another national championship. That's the goal every year. I think it's more of a factor for others looking in from outside the program.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's a great honor, and I'm happy the guys haven't lost. I was on the team with the last loss in 2014 to Michigan at national championship.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing for everybody on this team. They don't know what a loss feels like. So that's pretty unheard of. So.
All right, so what do you think of their chances to four-peat? I can't believe we're saying four-peat, but
four-peat,
I mean,
wow, yeah.
You know.
What a stat.
Exactly.
Chances looking really good. I mean, after last week coming out, putting up the team's highest total, with Yule competing in the all-around, you know, we all expected to have the highest team total.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the nation's top gymnast in the all-around, so he's going to add a ton of points to the team total. But tonight, with him only competing on 4 events, I was kind of curious. You know, maybe we'll be around like 415 or something like that to come out and put up again the nation's top score.
Well, what they put up, I wasn't even watching the score.
It was a 418.85.
Dang!
So now the nation's again for the modified lineup. Yeah. So it's going to be there's a good chance that they could do it again, but I mean, there's always the possibility for other teams to jump in and try and make a shot for it. Like we saw Penn State last night, put up a 417.
Wow. Okay.
And their season average before that was like 10 points lower than that.
Wow. Were they competing at home? Do you think they had
No, they were competing at Ohio State.
Oh, wow.
So they weren't even at home.
Okay.
So I was, as soon as I saw that they weren't at home and they put up a score like that, I was like, dang. Okay. So, I mean, on any good night, they could fight for a title too.
Wow.
Who knows?
All right, you know, got another side questions out of the blue, but what's your favorite sports movie of all time?
Favorite sports movie? I'm a big fan of Cool Runnings.
Ooh.
That's an awesome movie. Or The Mighty Ducks. Gordon Bombay.
Okay.
That's probably up there too.
Okay. All right. How about superhero? What's your favorite superhero?
Superhero. Batman.
Batman.
He had a plan for every situation. He had a plan to kill every single member of the Justice League. Hey, if that's not an all-star, I don't know who is. So.
All right, so I hear you're a judge. Are you a judge?
No, I'm a commentator.
Yeah, you're commentator.
Commentating.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think about the new scoring, obviously, is this good for fans? Is it bad for fans? I mean, what do you think? Do people understand what the heck is going on?
I think, well, okay, so my perspective on it is, overall, it's bad for fans.
Okay.
And not because of the specific rules that this system uses. It's just when you change it as often as it's been changed, then it makes it really difficult to follow. Because, I mean, even then on TV, I'm still making mistakes occasionally. I have to be like, okay, oh no, wait, stick bonuses are only 1/10 this year instead of 2. Or like, oh, this vault starts from this instead of this like it used to. You know, come out with a system and just stick with it. Like, at least for a prolonged enough period of time where, like, fans know what's good and what's not good.
Yep.
When you're changing the scoring all the time, it makes it really difficult to follow. Just find something and stick with it. I don't care what it is, just stick with it. Stop changing it.
I mean, I agree, right? I mean, we see this a lot in basketball and football. Touchdown is what? 7 points, field goals 3. It's almost equivalent to, my bad, 6 points. But it's almost equivalent to changing, you know, touchdown to 12 points next year, and then the year after that, 21 points.
Well, it's like in a 418, okay? Amazing score this season. 420 seems to be the new benchmark that everybody's fighting for and shooting for.
Yeah.
420, you know, back when I was competing, it's like, dude, that's a bad score. Like, we set the record at 457 here in McCaslin my senior year.
Dang.
And now it's like 457 is impossible. It's
and aren't
like,
the routines a little bit harder now, right? Or do you think it's kind of about the same?
Well, you know, I there's certain parts of it I don't like. I don't think it's a big deal where you only have 4 requirement groups now in each event.
Yep.
I don't think that's a big deal, but like the format on rings, you know, I'm a rings guy, so of course I got to comment on this, but the fact that you can only do 1 swinging skill cross and 1 strength skill cross, so like you can't do a Zarian cross and a bounce cross in the same routine anymore. Why? That's stupid, dude. Now everybody's doing a Yamawa or a Hamna cross now, or a back upright cross.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're limiting the diversity of routines now.
The originality, all that stuff.
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to be promoting diversity and like trying to make the sport, you know, progress and become more difficult.
Skills.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, I guess that's not a priority anymore.
All right. So real quick, last week I just found out today, and I just wanted to talk about it. But the H&I invite last week, Houston National Invitational, Cypress Academy of Gymnastics, a club team, beat the U.S. OTC, Olympic Training Center. I mean, obviously I know Colin Van Wickelen, he's a national team member, was on it, but other than that, it was a bunch of juniors with Sam, 2-time Olympian and stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
That's surprising. You know, I didn't know about that actually, so this is news to me. But I mean, even for us, like the OU team, you know, my freshman year when we would go to Rocky Mountain Open and compete up in Colorado Springs, usually the OTC would have a team there and they'd kick our butts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from them to go to that kind of level of training to now they're getting beat by a club team. I mean, respectively, a good club team. Cypress,
I mean, they got some junior national team members.
That's where we get a lot of our OU guys from, too. I mean, they're a heck of a program. Yeah. So, I mean, they definitely shouldn't be, I mean, they're not the typical club program. But, yeah, that definitely is not a good look for the OTC. You got to start wondering what they're doing that college programs aren't doing now. Because, I mean, nowadays you have a lot of our national team members, like Jake Dalton, Alex Nador. He's not even trained at, well, I guess there was a period where he was trained at the OTC, but for a long time he was training at his dad's gym. And Brandon Wynn was training at Ohio State for a long time. So it seems like post NCAA level, your best bet to keep training for national team is stick at your college. And I don't know why that is. Because for a long time, it was considered like, dude, if you want to have the best chances of making the Olympic team, you go to the OTC.
Exactly.
You want to be seen every day by the coaches and people there who are making the big decisions. Nowadays, maybe that's not the biggest. I mean, maybe that's not going to help you as much. And I got to wonder what they're doing there training-wise that's kind of hindering gymnasts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a new development, but it's sad. So I hope they are able to turn it around.
How do you feel that, you know, we all know earlier in the year when they had the new high performance director job up for grabs, we know Mark Williams, legendary coach, flew there, applied for the position and didn't get it, and then now they losing to the a club team. I mean, do you think that was a wise decision on their part, USA Gymnastics?
Well, I know Mark to be the best men's gymnastics coach in the country right now. But I think part of that is based on two things. I think Mark was looking for an administrative position and not maybe more of like a hands-on position.
Okay.
Because one of Mark's greatest assets is that he's a great manager.
Gotcha.
He knows how to get guys to peak at their performance levels at the right time in the season. And he pre-plans all of our workouts weeks and months in advance. So every day you know what you're going to be doing going into the workout. On a technical coaching level, he has allowed other assistant coaches to take more of the helm.
Yep.
So when I was on the team, we had Gard Young and Nori Moss at EY. They were kind of the technical advisors. Mark took he took a step back and said, if there's something that you can't do and you need help on, go to those coaches. But when it comes to routine construction, maybe I could have some input.
Gotcha.
So Mark in that position, if he were at the OTC, he could definitely help those guys train, but it wouldn't be at the technical level, so it would depend on the position that they're looking for. If they're looking for more of a technical coach, maybe there are places elsewhere in the U.S. that would better suit them, but from a managing perspective, Mark would have been probably the best coach they could have gotten.
I agree. All right, well, we got some work to do, obviously, but I appreciate the interview because voices like yourself talking about issues in the sport is important for people to understand it, but also to hopefully affect change in the future. So thanks, National Champ Mike Squires.
I appreciate it.
All right, only in Gymnasticsville. All right.